I'm blown away by this because all of these things are so glaringly obvious. It's like, are they trying to get people to go away from the globe at this point? It's a strong possibility.
Well, okay, can I
for
answer?
real, though.
I didn't mean it. And Gio knows this. I'm not coming in here deliberately saying things to get a reaction. Gio knows this. I've been in it before. I've had good conversations with him. That was what I was saying is this. Because, by the way, I just want to point out that in the conversations I've had with Austin here, he's basically just said it's retarded and I'm a liar and I'm dishonest repeatedly. So I think it's fair, right? I didn't take it personally. I understand his position. So don't take my position as personal. I don't mean this personally. I don't have anything against Austin or Gio or anyone. All I'm saying is, when I asked Austin about the dome or about the container, right? I'm simply asking, what do you have to say about what is it? Tell us what your ideas are. And I can't get anyone to tell me what their ideas are.
I can get an idea real quick.
But then you'll say, okay, then you'll say that you're doing scientific tests. What are you doing scientific tests about? The third thing I want to say, and then I'll shut up, is that Austin, please don't take this the wrong way, but you had to be paid. You had to get a free trip to Antarctica to go there, man. You can't say that you could have organized a GoFundMe or whatever and done this trip 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever.
All right, dude.
Come on.
Dude. Enough with the bullshit, dude.
Let's be honest.
Nah, dude.
Right.
Let's talk about some science.
I was going to ask
you getting
you a
personal
question, but I'm
yeah,
good
well,
after hearing the third
I
point
was
that you made.
called dishonest
I'm
too.
good. Yeah.
£35,000.
All right, guys.
That's what it costs.
Wait, can I respond?
No, Martin, chill.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead. I was addressing Austin specifically. Yeah, go ahead.
So the reason that I would never do that is, for one, I know this isn't particularly conclusive as it pertains to the subject. It is interesting. I think it's very valuable observational data, but you would have to actually be able to maybe try to circumnavigate and/or private explore. Private explore would be beneficial, but I would never ask my followers to crowdfund something that expensive when there's a very strong possibility you could go down there and it just be heavily overcast where you can't see the sun at all. I would never, in good faith, ask my followers to do that. Okay, especially when I know it's not conclusive. Now, I, of course, have funded out of pocket myself tons of observations and tests. I funded out of pocket myself an entire tour where we went around the entire United States explaining this subject and speaking out against the pandemic lockdown and doing observations and tests all along the coast and bodies of water all throughout the United States. So it's kind of laughable to suggest I don't do tests or whatever. Yeah, you're right. Someone else had to pay for me to go here because I would never put that burden on my followers and ask them to raise like 40K and then me come down here and it possibly just be fruitless. In addition, I've still had to spend tons of money to go do this. Okay, it's been extremely inconvenient for me in many ways. So, okay.
I don't even know why you're entertaining the guy's question, bro. I mean, it just didn't really seem like a very good one. Like, the first question was great. But everything that followed up after that was just like, dude, it completely just discredited everything that the guy had to say, in my opinion.
It wasn't even.
And this is the other thing. Let me address the drone thing. I mean, the dome thing, right? It's like, it's not that I won't give my opinion. Thank you for the ride, brother. Thank you. It's because, like, I will only give my opinion about that to someone that's operating in good faith. Because it's like, thank you, man. Gracias. Because it's like, it requires good faith where I'm speculating, right? If someone wants to actually know my position, in good faith, I'll say it. Many of the people in this room have heard me speculate about that very thing. All right, I'll even do it right now. It's like, I believe that there are layers to whatever the container of the earth is. There's a container over the earth. I believe there are actually layers. I believe that there is a fluid medium. I believe that what's referred to as the universe is much more dense, much more local and compacted and finite. And I believe that there are layers. And I believe that, like, the sun and the moon have its own layer. The stars are in a separate layer. right? And I can go further and further into that, right? I think it's all electrical, it's intrinsically magnetic. I believe there's actually a vortex,
Can I give a
proportionally
different
distributed.
take? I would say the thing you're referring to as the container is the furthest extremity of the field, and everything exists within the field. So I don't think that this container is necessarily something physical, rather than physicality itself. Furthermore, I'll leave it at that. And I wanted to say one thing to you, Witsit. I hope you brought some chapstick. I know that thing
Yeah, I
really gets
did.
overlooked when packing. Okay,
Well,
cool.
that breaks the Bible, brother. It is physical. The Bible says, Rakia, come on now. So are
Yeah,
you guys going? Are you
He
guys going
said it's
against the Bible now? There's no
physicalness
biblical
itself.
people.
yeah.
There's
I
no
said
But
I
biblical
said
people here.
I said all physicality exists within the confines of the field itself.
That
So
doesn't make sense, brother.
the furthest extremity of the field, right, is physicality itself. Beyond that, who's to say? So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
but
make sense of that. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, you're twisting, brother. Don't worry about it, brother. It's physical. It's a dome. It's glass. It's fiberglass. It's something like that, brother. That's what you flat
thank
earthers
you,
say.
dude. Thank you for knowing our model better than we know
Yeah,
it. For
yeah,
some,
you're very welcome.
listen.
Sometimes
This is what's going
we
on
disagree.
here. You're going with unverifiable subs. You're asking us,
No,
can you verify something that's unverifiable that you can't go to? And then we start speculating on it, and now you're saying no. You know it better than we do.
all flat earthers have told us that it's physical. It's glass.
So,
I mean,
well,
So
we
this,
Who
didn't.
told you that, dude?
We didn't.
yeah, of course you
Can we
did.
get
You
better
said there's a
Glovers, dude? Can we
You
get
you
told
said
us
there's a
that we
container.
told you that, man.
Son, air pressure
It's retarded.
needs a container. Air pressure needs a container, not a magnetic field. What are you talking about? Come on now.
Okay, do you know that you could have air pressure inside of a like if you go in a pool, right, and you blow a bubble, there's air pressure there, right, and it's contained by water.
Oh no. Remember, you told us that the Earth is what's in question. So you have to do this experiment outside of the Earth.
I'll shut this guy up, man.
No, it's just facts.
Please.
Sorry, brother. We just trapping you guys into what you have all.
You're not trapping anything.
No,
You're
see,
straw
this
manning.
wait, time out. This real fast. This further elucidates my point where the guy's like, I couldn't get him to answer the question. It's because of people like this. It's just bad faith. When we preface it by saying it's speculative and we want to have good conversation that's intellectually productive and fruitful and try to figure out what's really going on, we don't do it around people like you guys because
No, you told us.
you guys have bad intention. You see what I'm saying? You lack impulse control and you have bad intentions. So that's why, right? Where Dyslow was articulating potential disagreement, where in which I would have said, well, I think that's actually a false dichotomy that aren't mutually exclusive. We could have then talked about how the magnetic field is actual spatial extension, et cetera, et cetera. Things that you frankly wouldn't even understand. So it's like, fine, if you want to pretend like somehow you got a gotcha when we're speculating, and then you just straw man us to try to get the gotcha. It just shows intellectual insecurity. And to me, it's very boring.
Bingo.
well put, Witsit.
And I'm still saying, you shouldn't be doing this with it. You shouldn't be having to deal with these kind of guys.
I agree.
Well, I don't
No
know.
way.
I don't know what kind of guys you're talking about. I didn't come in here to
You
belittle
as well,
anybody.
yeah.
Let me hold
Yeah.
on. Let me finish, and I have to run. So just speaking personally to
Bye-bye.
Austin. So Austin, I hope you have a good time. I'm gonna hope and pray that the whole time you're there, you have good weather, you stay warm, you stay safe, and you get along with MC Toon and whoever else. All right. So have a good time.
Thank you, man.
Hey, Red Cloud, I know you got to run sometime.
Yes,
I
sir.
hope to catch you on here and get your opinions on the founders of NASA and
Yeah.
all the occult characteristics, and see how you can come to terms with that being your
Yeah,
religion.
we can talk about that sometime. Yeah, absolutely. I was
Awesome.
going to say, we do have a lot more common ground because you just assume, oh, I'm just some glober. I don't believe in dark matter. I have no clue about Einstein's relativity, right? Whether that's true, whether it's not true, right? I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe in billions of years. I don't believe in the Big Bang.
Then how do you
I
reconcile?
didn't
Stop
get vaxxed.
interrupting,
You are. Stop
dude. Stop
interrupting.
interrupting,
Sorry.
please.
I didn't
Equally
get the
smart-talking
GB jab,
interruption.
right? Because I don't trust them. I don't trust what the government say. We have actually a lot of stuff in common. And so I understand why Austin is cynical about science. We don't agree on a lot of things. And the other thing I want to say before I really have to go, the other thing I want to say, Austin, is I completely, I don't know if disavow, but the way that McToon has the videos he's made about you, the way he's talked about you, what he's done, completely in the wrong. I'm upset in a way with him, but I'm actually in another way. I'm a little bit also upset that I don't know if Pastor Duffy has spoken to McToon and asked him to shut all that stuff down and to stop doing all
Well,
that stuff.
funny enough, bro, that went down today
Oh,
where we actually called it out. No, yeah, we called it out
okay.
because I guess I'll just quickly tell you guys. So a bunch of people have been like, well, what are you going to do about McToon? Because you didn't sign a contract with him. And, he always makes hit pieces about you and slanders you. And he's obsessed with you. And he's telling his followers that he's going to go there specifically to humiliate you guys. And that he's going to put a body camera on and film everything that goes on and film you the entire time. And that's why people like even donated to him to go. But, you guys don't have a contract with him. So you're screwed. And I was like, bro, we thought about all of that. We're many steps ahead. Just stay McTooned, because we didn't want to say anything yet. So we brought it up today. We pulled out a piece of paper and we said, look, you guys need to agree to the fact that you can't film us. And obviously, apparently McToon had overlooked the ALE guideline that says he's not allowed to film us without our permission, because that's clearly what he was going to do. And so then there was this whole the relevance is McToon was kind of rolling this whole like innocent, fun guy or nice guy routine, which I told everyone he would do that. Like when he got here in person, he would have a totally different energy. He'd be really timid and soft and pretend to be nice and all this. And he was doing that. And so Duffy was kind of like defending him. And I'm like, because I pointed out, like, dude, McToon has slandered me for years and has lied viciously and even talked about my family. And he's like, I've never seen a lie. Where'd he lie? Where'd he lie? He started like really aggressively defending McToon. And I said, Duffy, why are you lying right now? I've sent you the examples and the receipts the first time you asked, and then you just stopped acknowledging them. And then I said, he also just recently said that someone should have his children taken because they're a flat earther. And then McToon denied it. And I said, okay, let's play the video. I played the video, and then Duffy started defending it, making excuses for it. I said, brother, you're supposed to be a preacher, and you're sitting here defending McToon, slandering people, and calling for their children to be taken from them. And honestly, just to wrap it up concisely, he defended a lot of McToon's actions directly, where there was people saying, I don't think that Duffy knows about it. I don't think Duffy would defend it. I started giving specific examples of the lies and the slander and the evil stuff that McToon has done. Duffy was defending it. So there you go. That's what happened.
Well, I tell you what you need to do, Austin. Tell you what you need to do, my brother. Listen close, okay? You're a Christian?
Yes.
Okay. Forgive him.
Yeah?
No.
Forgive him, Austin. Forgive him. Okay? As people, if you offend people, you hope that they'll forgive you for, when you offend them, you hope that they'll forgive you for offending you. What you need to do with Toon is, and Duffy, if necessary, is forgive him. Dude, say it to his face. Right? Just say, you've offended me, but I forgive you. Say that to his face.
That doesn't mean you forget.
If he's insulted you, belittled you, that is the way. I'm going to use a Mandalorian thing. This is the way.
Yeah, but
forgive.
Should you really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, no, yes, you should. You should, to be fair. I agree
Evil,
with you.
evil actions.
But
Should you
the thing
forgive?
is, I have to
evil?
continually forgive him because he keeps doing it. But
how many times should you forgive your brother? How many times? 7 times?
Dude.
Hey,
This
just
is
let
the thing,
Witsit
though.
respond.
You're not going to be able to forget at this point. If someone has shown
You
this
can't
kind of
forget.
behavior to you, you can forgive them, and forgiveness is for the offended, not for the offender. Right? So he can tell McToon, I forgive you, and McToon will justify his actions with a whole bunch of nonsense. That's how it usually works. So yeah, Witsit can forgive him, but he's not going to forget what has happened and allow the dude to just keep doing the behavior.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. If
that's
your
not
neighbor breaks in
true
your
at
house, you can
all.
forgive him, but you're still going to lock your house, and you're still going to, right. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is the path forward, especially right now, because you have to deal with him. You're going to have to be around him for another 4 or 5 days, and also as a
That's not.
Christian witness, as a Christian, that's what you ought to do.
McToon
And
is
as
a
a
claimed Christian, dude.
Did you miss when Witsit said, "I have to continually forgive him"?
Yeah. Okay. I may have missed that, but anyway. So Austin, again, I really do have to bounce, guys. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was a butt. Austin, have a great time. Okay, man. Stay safe, and want you home to your family in a few days. But stay safe. Have a good time. Stay warm. Thank you.
So I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
much
not
love, but
saying
sorry,
that.
I gotta figure out this here, bro. I gotta figure out this.
So I'm not saying that McToon is evil. This is just a step back, not involving McToon. McToon. As a Christian, are we supposed to forgive evil acts, or are we supposed to just forgive our brothers for making mistakes?
No,
Well,
you forgive your enemies.
love your
You
enemies.
pray for those who
Expose
persecute
evil.
you.
See,
No, you
I don't
don't
know.
just
I don't
forgive
know
and
about that.
forget.
Is it a
You're supposed to
possibility that
expose it. Y'all want to answer, or you just? Was my mic bad again?
You're
Still?
good, Rakia. Go ahead.
Yeah. When evil happens around you, you're supposed to expose it. You are supposed to forgive it. That's part of the process. But exposing it is one of the steps. Let
now?
your other brothers know what's going on around them. Make them aware, and
Yeah.
then you forgive and forget. But you don't just forgive and forget and turn
Nah,
the other
nah,
cheek when
I
it
don't
Okay.
think so,
pertains
bro.
to evil.
I mean, forgiving is different than forgetting. I think
It's not
forgiving
an
is good,
opinion.
but forgetting is foolish.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
you don't want to forget because then you could end up in the same scenario. So yes, you got to forgive the person, right? Because that lifts the weight off you. If you hold the grudge against the person, it's like you drink the poison expecting them to die.
I want to ask: do you all think it's a possibility that the word of the Lord was hijacked or manipulated, where like they inserted that like forgive evil and not crush it, not like
No.
I think there's a bunch
react?
of examples in scripture of the Father forgiving evil. I mean, just looking at King David, he was a man after God's own heart, but he knowingly committed adultery and murder, which are both, punishable by death penalty. But he came to the Father, asked for forgiveness, had that contrite spirit, and he was forgiven. We see throughout the context of his life, he still experienced ramifications for that action, but that forgiveness was still extended to him. And even the thief on the
Mhm.
cross, like he said to Jesus himself, like, he and the other guy who was mocking Jesus said, we're both worthy of this death penalty. But he looked to Jesus and said, remember me when you come into your kingdom. He had that heart of repentance. And Jesus gave it to him right there. So that's my take.
Says
Okay,
not
thank
to
you, thank you.
forget.
Forgiveness is
Hang
different
on.
person to
Hang on.
person,
I
bro.
was clearly next. I interrupted her 4 times when she paused. I'm clearly next. No one said, including me, not to forgive. No one said God doesn't forgive. No one has said that I've heard. This Bible verse alone backs up. Ephesians 5:11. You can go look it up. Take no part in unfruitful works of darkness, which means evil, but instead expose them. And then it goes on, you can read further in context that it goes on what other steps you're supposed to take, including forgiving. It doesn't say forget it, it says forgive. But it says expose the darkness so your other brothers and sisters around you don't get caught up in taking part of it and, unfortunately or not knowingly or whatever. That's why you expose it. Thanks.
If you don't live under the
Can I ask you?
axiomatization of the binarism that is good versus evil and other spellcasts, you'll easily transcend that dualism and see that evil and other malintended actions, when they are conscientiously done, are just reaction to trauma of experience rather than actually something that supposedly is inherently born with, because that's a burden of proof claim that is yet to be actually as such, put to the test, which is the test we're currently undergoing.
Okay, let me make a couple points, please.
Right.
Okay, for one, yes, you forgive people, and even a selfish reason of just like resentment gives that party power over you. And that doesn't mean that you forget. Doesn't mean that you cast pearl before swine, which is not just about saying profound things to ignorant people. That's not all it's about. It's about giving energy and participation to things that can turn around to people that can turn around and hurt you or stab you. Okay. And further, I even took a step further than all of this. And I thought back as to times that I've been mean to him back or been really savage or embarrassed him, which I know is a big part of why he's been so obsessively slanderous and insane. Okay. And I actually approached him and told him that a while back that I was sorry for the times that I had crossed the line and been really rude or savage to him. And to be frank, I didn't think I ever did anything too insane other than just like kind of like clapping back at him. But I still apologize for what I did wrong with no intention of him doing what was right, admitting what he did wrong, nothing like that. Okay. So I'm going above and beyond to be the bigger person here with that guy. That has nothing to do with me knowing I need to protect my family and that I need to expose the fact that he's deceptive and manipulative and lies and slanders. Okay. So it'd be, whatever. I've forgiven him. I've even gone on my way to say what I did wrong was whatever, because I think that he's probably like still freaking out because I've embarrassed him publicly in debate, like just objectively. So whatever, that's the situation. But the point is that the dude has acted insane. He's here under nothing but purely deceptive and evil pretenses and intention. Okay, so I called it out. And that was the plan the whole time. And we just asked him, look, we just want you to sign this document. It basically reiterates what you already signed in ALE. He clearly was not aware of it. Okay, Duffy went to defending some of his actions. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're supposed to be a preacher. Okay, and so then we
That's
just
why
had to
we
really
sent
like
you.
wait. We had to lay our foot down and be like, nah. And they're like something about like, well, you don't have to go. I'm like, we won't go. We literally won't go. I don't care. We won't go. I don't care. He's not filming me and putting it in his videos. We won't go. And so then we called their bluff, and then they agreed. And they already did sign the ALE stuff that says they can't film us. And yeah, there you go. McToon says, at least on camera, to Duffy in the agreement that he would actually not put any of the footage of us on his channel from this trip at all. And like even the pre-Antarctica trip. But we'll see, and he's not allowed to record us without our permission, like even record us, much less use our likeness. And
can't he just get around this by blurring you out, though?
Well, yeah, but who cares? Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, Witsit, you hurt him too. Now he's just looking for a means to hurt you back. He doesn't care because he's made to not care. You shouldn't have
who cares if
embarrassed him to begin with. I understand that that's not your intention, but it ends up happening when you have a scientific debate. It's unfortunate.
Okay, first of all,
can we get back to the
sounds
science?
weird, but you might have to actually apologize to him for him to be able to move on from his hatred towards
I already did.
Well, he doesn't believe you then if he keeps doing it.
Well, what am I supposed to tailor and cater to him like a little girl?
No.
Okay. Well,
maybe he's the type of person who needs to have it in person.
Maybe he's just not a good person.
It could be that you haven't been able to reach out to him because he is just he's feeding himself with his own thoughts about what you are doing and not.
Once I'm with Jeremy, can we move on, please?
There's three things going on here.
Hold on, we're gonna get back to Siak. Are you done?
Yeah, well, I will be done if I can get to say 10 more seconds.
No, you only have it. That's all it is.
Hold on.
Would I not be interrupted?
Somebody got him.
Please?
Go ahead. We're gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry if I created so much conundrum here, but Witsit, you see, a good and genuine handshake if I were now next to you and I took you in the hand, you could easily tell whether or not, I was despicable or some other intent or, some other relational
I shook
stance.
his hand already.
Oh, you
Hold
did?
on, just let this guy finish. So we could just let this guy finish, bro. Please, no one interrupt, so this can be over with.
I have a question, Witsit, for you then. What did it feel like when you shook his hand? What did
He's
he...
super disingenuous. He's disingenuous and manipulative.
Wow.
Yes, okay. And
Yeah, like
what
I know
was his
I know
hand
We get back
intuitively
like?
to
that the
the
guy is dark and can't be trusted. I shook his hand and I could feel his energy. I could feel that he was like deceptive and trying to put on some type of act. I shook everyone's hand at the table, and it is what it is. Like it's what it is. Like I trust the creator. I'm not scared of the guy. It doesn't mean that I need to like let my guard down around him. And we go eat dinner the first time we're all gonna meet each other and hang out. Guess what? He's got his freaking GoPro up recording every single second of the dinner. And so, it is what it is. It's just like, and then he tried to like the most good faith, honest concessions in a debate that he's ever done happened at that dinner. But like it could only last so long before he had to like kind of save face for the camera because he was conceding to everything I said almost. So, it's like the act was over pretty quickly and it's fine, bro. It's like I don't care about any of it. I just don't want him to be able to film Jaron and I and Liz, and he's not allowed to, and we fixed it. And I only brought this up because the guy said something about Duffy, and I'm like, well, yeah, I was telling Jaron I can tell that Duffy is obviously cool with him doing that stuff and like enjoys it, right? He's not ignorant of it, and Jaron seemed to want to believe like, oh, well, I think Duffy doesn't like that or Duffy doesn't know about it. I said you're wrong. Duffy does know. And so I was just pointing out that got proved today. Duffy went on to actually start defending some of the stuff that McToon had done and said that are just absolutely despicable, including saying that this guy's getting divorced and the wife is using flat earth in court against him to take his children and make it where he can't see his children. And Duffy's like, well, yeah, well, he refused to let go of flat earth in court to see his children, like defending it. Duffy was like defending that idea, defending McToon, mocking and taunting the guy for not being able to see his children because of flat earth. Okay, and I talk about evil, bro. Talk about evil. You think that's something a preacher should do? You think a preacher should condone the idea that the beast system is preventing a father from seeing his children because he believes in biblical cosmology? You think that's what a preacher would do? So yeah, I called them both out to their face.
Yeah, you see now how men can be
That's pretty
completely
bad. Hold on, man. I gotta get a hold of this. Hold on, Zach, please. Hold on a second. I gotta wrangle this up. A lot of people want to get in. I don't know what the actual. Did you have anything more to say on that? Did you want to switch up topics with it, or you want to stay on this?
Well, no, I just wanted you guys to know the situation.
A hard one.
Well, can
All
I
right,
say,
cool,
can
cool,
I say
cool.
something before we hop on?
There wasn't much addition and minus.
Yeah.
There was a tiny bit of it, but it was mostly.
Austin Barrett. Hot mic,
Somebody's hot
Austin.
mic, yeah.
I just want to say, like in Matthew, 21 verse, or no, Matthew 19 verse 21 through 22 is Jesus said that you should forgive 7 times 70 times. And I think that's exactly what we're trying to do as a group as a whole, because we want to forgive these people. But at the same time, like, it's so tough to bear like this love and like this shine to like this group of people that just want to incessantly come in day after day, hour after hour, minute over minute, second over second, and just want to like try to collapse whatever your worldview is. And I think it's just all love, any way we look at it. So I appreciate you guys for listening to me.
Isn't that about brothers or something? The forgiveness 17 times or whatever? Doesn't it say brothers or no?
It's just to help you
I
get
don't
in
know.
the mode of
Can it-
thought that helps you breathe through the event and not go into judgment.
No, it was after Peter tore off the ear.
Yeah, before
Yes,
we get
but
into a whole Bible thing.
yeah, before we do that,
Before
it's
we get
simply
into
a
a whole
teaching
Bible
to help
thing.
you not be judgmental, holding judgment, and be able to develop unconditional love. So it is
All
what it
right.
is. And what's it? I will end it here, but no one's asking you to do anything, only inviting. And we know why you are there. So it's all good. I wish you all the best with it, and I'm looking forward to all that you are gonna get from there. Just do whatever you do what you have the energy and will to do. And I think everyone here will be very happy with the results that you get. Whether it shatters some worldviews or whether it does not. It's going to be very interesting no matter what. And let's not be so stubborn in being on either or other side, although some people feel that they have very good grounding in reality. Many have claimed so, and still have been fools. So, yeah.
All right. No, that was good. That was good. All right, but let me get us back on track here. You all set on that, Witsit, or is there any more?
Jeremy, can I make a
No, I
single
mean,
comment and then stop?
What's up?
I just wanted to make a single comment on that, and then y'all can move forward. I wanted to say the whole idea is you forgive 70 times 7, and it doesn't mean you mathematically take a calculator and forgive that many times and then you don't anymore. It's more like a state of being or a mindset. So I understand the forgive and forgive and forgive again and again because I had to forgive myself and forgive many other people for the wrongs I had done to others and myself, and it's freed me. I don't have a weight like a bondage or chains holding me down. So forgiveness is very important. And yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying watching. I'm going to go live in like 30 minutes with Joe Hamby again for part 2. Had him on my channel today and asking questions. So if this kind of subsides, maybe y'all can hop on and ask questions. But thanks, Witsit, for all you're doing. You're crushing, bro.
Y'all don't understand that
Much love.
verse. That verse says
Com-
77 times. Y'all don't understand that. That's
com-
70
com-
to the square
completely
root of
agree,
7.
RBB.
To the square 7 square.
Yeah, but my comment was 70 times
7
7
squared
doesn't.
is not 77. What?
77 times.
77 times?
77 times.
Yeah, 70 times 7. But it's
No.
just
Is it
That's
70 times
70.
7 or 77? I don't even know what we're talking about, but I feel like we need to come to a conclusion
So
on this. I mean,
77 times. That's not 70
It,
times 7.
it doesn't mean don't forgive on the 78th time or the 780th time or whatever y'all are trying to say. It doesn't mean don't forgive them. It's just making a point that you should forgive over and over again, like you want to be forgiven. Like, forgive those who trespass against you as you want God to forgive you. That's basically what it's iterating. You have to read things in context. You should always forgive.
what's
Doesn't mean
it's way
you
easier.
should go have dinner with the person who wronged you, but you should forgive them. But you should expose the sin around you and the evil around you, so your other brothers and sisters, even if they're non-believers, don't get caught up in it and take part in evil. That's the whole point.
Exactly. Real fast, just to point out, like it's okay. It's way easier to do that when you view it as if they literally can't help it, or you try to exercise empathy and or even sympathy in a way, and you're like, dang, like that's just who they are, like, or certainly at this time, and they don't even see, they know not what they do, they're incapable of it. And it's sad they're missing out on like this beautiful like truth and like integrity and it's relationship with the creator or whatever. Like so when you view it like that, it's unspoken that you're gonna forgive them. You just operate in that way where you always forgive them, but at times you still have to be masculine and be a man and have integrity and expose darkness and call out evil, etc. Protect the defenseless and stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. And those aren't mutually exclusive. You can forgive someone for they know not what they do, while simultaneously having righteous indignation, etc. So I forgive him. I literally feel like he isn't capable of not doing it. Something takes over him. He snaps. That's how I feel about a lot of these people that attack me, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's one thing. And then one thing is kind of like not letting the community down, not being in some crazy at peace, not allowing someone that I consider to be effectively working for the enemy too close, right? Like you still have to exercise wisdom, etc. So all that said, that's how I view that whole thing. We're all good. I've even gone on my way to apologize to him in the past for anything I had done to wrong him or anything I had said to him, even though I feel like my pride wants me to say it's beyond justified because all I'm ever doing is like pushing back. Okay, so that's all good. I appreciate everyone's input and stuff like that. I was just letting you guys know kind of the situation the guy asked. He said the one thing he was curious about was kind of like Duffy. Has Duffy ever called him out? Is Duffy supportive, etc.? I'm saying I got my answer in person, looking at both of them in the face today. Uh, and yes, he absolutely defended it. So, whatever.
In the end, McToon, Duffy, et al. Are all just heavily traumatized. So, if you see them as hurt childrens, help them learn, be patient with them. Eventually, they'll
Yeah.
seek you out just like children in the playground does. But if you poke
Yeah.
them, they're going to react to their trauma, and they're just going to scream and scream and scream and scream and scream. So you just be you, be calm, be patient, and wait for them, and they will find you.
I was pretty stern
Look
though.
for you,
Like,
Matthew.
I was pretty stern today, but it's all good. And I kept making the point, like, we're actually operating in good faith. I want us all to go there with good vibes and no like hate or resentment or whatever. We can just all go and focus on the opportunity. We're going to do things that have never been done, etc.
That's
But
it. I'm proud
like
of
I'm
you.
not going
You're
to play
doing
this.
well, man.
Thank
Man,
you,
you're
thank you,
doing
thanks.
well, man. I've been watching a lot of your videos. You're doing well.
Hold on, was
I'm
it
actually
done?
quite
Was
proud of you.
Witsit, were you done right there?
Just keep at it. You'll eventually see that it will pay in full. Not obviously in material gains, although that just
All
becomes a
right.
side effect. But it will all be
Yeah,
worth it.
but
Just
let's
be
let everyone
patient.
finish.
All
I don't
right.
know if Witsit was done right there.
Pretty much
Can we
my
switch
last
this
thing I was
up?
going to say,
Witsit, how
yeah,
much
yeah,
more is there
like
to?
this final the conclusive to all of it is like I'm here for something way bigger. I think that the creators are in control of everything. I'm not scared of anything. Whatever the outcome is, we should all embrace truth, whatever it is, and we should always try to be the bigger person. So it should be exciting. Should be all good vibes. I was just giving you guys an update. People have been asking me about that situation for like 3 months, and I've been telling them just stay tuned. Stay tuned and see what happens. Now you guys know we're a few steps ahead. Everything is good, and we leave Saturday morning. If anyone, last thing about the trip, if anyone has any specific requests as to some type of little gadget or something that they want me to bring, let me know. We found out that we can bring another bag up to 50 pounds. I'm going to the store right now to maybe look for a bag, but I'm going to try to get a compass, a sextant, see if there's a gyro compass. If you guys can think of anything else, just let me know.
Cool.
Is there anything you guys want to? Something? What do you got? Anything for him to bring?
I'm
I mean,
thinking
you're
a
just
big.
going shopping at.
I'm
What
thinking
are
a
you
big.
going shopping at the mall?
Thinking
Let's
of,
say you called your wife yet?
What?
You called your wife yet?
I talk to my wife every day, bro.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and then I FaceTime Aaliyah, bro. I got to FaceTime Aaliyah. She wants to say goodnight to Dad.
Does anyone have anything for Witsit to bring or do or something? Like, well, I like the angles to the sun thing. That's a good one.
Do they have any water
Does
chickens
anyone
down
have
there
any?
you could bring?
That's not relevant. You don't need one.
what about Bic
Yeah, it was
lighter?
good.
Did anyone find the Andrea Guest quote?
That was
If no
funny
one has
though.
anything for
Come
Witsit,
on,
That
that
quote
was
if no
doesn't
one
funny
has
though.
exist, bro.
anything for Witsit, all right, Rob, we heard you. We heard you, Rob. If no one has anything else for Witsit, do you? Final Final call, last call.
Well, I think one thing that is going to be interesting is the fact that like the cycles for full moons always appear around the solstice. So they're going to have a full moon. There's a waxing and a waning gibbous pertaining to Saturday night and Monday morning, and full moon Sunday night at 4:02. I think that that's something, and maybe which like they get confused. Like I don't like, we just can't let these, we can't let McToon be like, oh, there's the sun. You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't compute. It doesn't make a ton of
Dude,
sense, but
what?
they might try
Dude,
to
does anyone have
mislead
anything?
everyone with that.
All right. No, we hear that. But does anyone have anything for Witsit to bring else to do, or something to do, or to bring, or anything?
Kind of a quick
question.
Jeremy, you've asked that 5 times now, bro.
What's what I'm saying? I want
Just
to like move on to something.
just wanted to ask
If
very
no one
quick.
has nothing, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna pick something. Not where you let you random guys pick it. We'll be talking about alligators and trees or something. Or Witsit, like let's let somebody pick it that's like a live stream host or something. You know what I'm saying? Die slow. What do you got? Nothing. Did you find that Andrea Ghez quote? Anyone look for the Andrea Ghez quote? Okay, no one wants to talk now. You guys can't hear me.
No, I can hear
think
you. You're
you
coming through loud and clear. I'm just ordering pizza for the kids because I'm hungry, and I'm gonna live stream in 20 minutes for a while. But the only thing I had to ask Witsit is I saw Critical Think. He had like weighed a specific weight with a scale at an airport, and I wondered if Witsit was able to weigh something before he left, because I think he's trying to weigh something down there and say, "Oh, it's heavier down here because we're on a spinning globe." Um, well, no, but I can always just weigh it when I get back. So I think it's more about just weighing it while I'm here. So maybe that's a good idea. I should try and buy a scale. Yeah. But right, I mean, I when you messaged me that, I was like already about to get on a plane. But um, I will do that. That's a good idea. So I'll
It,
try and find a scale here, which I mean, everything is in a different language, so I'll
there
see
might
what
be
we
an
can do.
easier way. There might be an easier way to do it. Have you heard of the specific gravity test you can do with like silver coins, for instance, to make sure they're legitimate?
You have to clip them.
No, that's the illegitimate way. That's the small hat Yiddish way. Anyway, no, the specific gravity test, regardless of the name and the association, it's just a way of confirming by volume displacement whether something is correct. But I think if what JT was saying, if that would mean that their claim would mean that it would be a different outcome there, I think. But you could look it up, see what you think, because it's an easy practical thing to do. You just need water, string, and a known item. So like a silver coin or any coin for that matter. But
if you were going to be doing any traveling there, I had a thought of like an astrolabe, but I don't really know how those work. I know they used to use them for navigation, but maybe a sextant that you could, if you're going to be doing any traveling from point A to point B while you're there, maybe you could fix some positions, and I don't know how that would help, but it'd be kind of cool anyway.
I mean, do you think
Wouldn't
you're gonna
sextant
go
be
into a
useless?
store and just buy a sextant? Do you just think you're gonna go in a store and buy a sextant right now? Like, I don't
Yeah,
even know where
because
to go.
we found a marine store. So I'm going to go to 2 different marine stores, so like a boat store
Oh,
tomorrow. Yeah.
nice, nice.
Yep.
Hello.
Because it opens up at like 9
Hello, you.
a.m. So there's a couple.
Hello, you.
The one that looks, the one that looks
Hello,
like it'll maybe. Dude, what is going on?
hello.
Hold on.
What
Yes,
the?
we do.
Someone
Yes,
says
we
hot
do.
mic, and hold on.
Yes, we do, baby.
Awkward.
Got him. Go.
Hold on. All right, we
That's
got
the
him.
next Glover troll in
We
line.
got it. We got him.
Okay.
Well, say it again. What's it? Yeah, the Marine store, no doubt. All right.
Yeah. So so the issue with that is that there's the one that looks like it's maybe better closes really early. It was closed already at 3. It's 7 here, so it opens at 9. So I'm gonna go to that in the morning, see their compass. I mean, I'm sure they won't have a gyro compass, but I'll look. Who knows? And because this is a pretty crazy place. If you're on a boat out here, like you need some stuff, So maybe they have a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna get a compass, and then I'll look for a sextant. And then there's a second boat store that is open, but I want to go to the good one first instead of buying like maybe not as good of a compass. And I can go to that one. So long story short, I'm looking for anything that you think that we would want from the marine store. I'm going tomorrow. Let me know. And because again, a reminder, we found out that I can bring a whole second bag up to 50 pounds.
Well, bro, you
So I
should have
now am
had a
gonna.
sextant. Dude, you should have had a sextant, bro. They make little ones you can wear as like necklaces.
Okay.
You could have
I don't know.
wore that shit down there.
Okay. I think that would probably be a little bit harder to use if
It's
it's
too
that
late
small.
now, but
Well,
what's
I
up?
do have a question. I do have a question as far as the time. Obviously, Austin, you're what plus? No, wait, you're Eastern. Or are you +2 Eastern?
+2.
You're +2, but then at Union Glacier, you're Pacific, right?
I don't know.
I believe you're at
Well,
Pacific, so there would be -5 or 7. Let's see. I believe it would be -7. Would you be 7 hours behind? As far as, again, I know that that's arbitrary and everything like that. I'm not trying to like, there's no gotcha. I love you, bro. Like when you were doing the thing with, the Georgia Guidestones, you're like, oh, yeah, bro. And like, I mean, that was like for me,
You're all
the thing.
bro.
But I think from a time zone standpoint, I think you're -5 or -7, in my opinion. Again, I know that that's arbitrary, but do we understand like where we're going?
What? Like I don't even know what you're asking me, brother.
Mark, had to be.
All right, so Union Glacier is Pacific time, and you're +2 on Eastern, or are you at Eastern?
I'm 2 hours ahead of Eastern time right now.
Right. So Union Glacier is supposedly -7 from where you are.
That was a good time,
Okay.
Jeremy. Do that moving on thing.
Now I get what he's
Okay.
saying.
Can I finish what I was trying to say real quick?
You guys gotta let me get a hold of this here. Go ahead, Witsit. Yeah, do something, Witsit, please.
Okay. Well, I was trying to make a point, just so you guys know. We found out that we can actually bring a whole second bag that can be checked. Okay. Which is very frustrating because we were told that wasn't the case. So obviously I had to leave a lot of stuff at the house because I literally it took me 20 minutes to zip my freaking bags. Okay. They're that full. All right. So anyway, now we know we can get on the backpack. So I'm looking for like a pretty decent backpack. I'm not excited about spending this money that I don't really have, but it is what it is. If anyone feels inclined, how about if you guys have suggestions, feel free to send a suggestion for what else I should grab by way of Cash App description. Kind of joking, but kind of not. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's so long story short. What I'm saying is like I'll have a whole other backpack and I'm gonna just fill it with gadgets that I can kind of afford, or we can like all pitch in on. If we have any last minute ideas, thermal imager, we got all the
Well, you should
cameras.
live stream us
Blah, blah,
when
blah.
you get to the Marine shop. When you get to the Marine shop, live stream the shit so we can see what they got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because we could tell you stuff all day right now. I mean, a Marine shop, maybe they'll have a sextant, maybe they won't. You know?
Also, at least one of us could translate so that you can communicate with the shop people better.
If you know anybody that's really far south while you're taking your sextant reading, and they were far enough to where they could see the sun at the same time, and you were on the phone together and took the reading at the same time, and you could get an angle from your reading to their reading, and then figure out the distance between you on the supposed map.
Yeah,
whether it be round or flat.
yeah, Witsit. I bet you Duffy used all your extra bags, like took them all from the flat earthers. You guys should all buy a bag and try to bring it and see what they say.
No, we are, because I talked to the girl when she did the gear check today. No, actually, I don't think Duffy wasn't okay. Like, so, okay, yeah, who knows? Maybe we would find out. But when I looked at everyone else's stuff, it doesn't look like they have extra stuff. Obviously, if they do, we will know tomorrow. But who knows? But because this is the way it works. They have a general layout of what you're supposed. Oh, I found it. They have a general layout of what you're supposed to, what you're allowed to bring. But actually, it's just per group weight limit, which is common sense because it's a plane, right? So since our group is actually pretty small and our plane's pretty empty, we can bring extra stuff. And they just limit it at 50 pounds. That's just because she doesn't want to have to physically lift heavier than that. So it is annoying, but whatever. It's where we are.
Hey, are you allowed to bring magnifying glasses?
I mean, at the least, they had to have let Duffy know that.
Why? Hold on.
Like,
Hold on a second.
8 miles.
Hold on a second. Why'd you ask about a magnifying lens?
Well, because if I was like 10 years old, I'd be like, go and set fire. But if I was older than 10-year olds, I would say if you could do some tests while you're outside with the thermal camera, you could use the magnifying glass to focus the light. See if you can get any, if you get any weird observations in the sky, you could try and see how it will line up. In the logic, don't need to
Bro, what are
explain.
we doing with the magnifying lens?
Right, you can set fire with a good clear sun, right?
Okay.
So
no?
obviously you're not gonna do that in those environments because they're all emotional about that kind of stuff. But you could use a thermal camera and just a normal surface that can take a bit of heat without getting affected, something metal or whatever, and you could focus the light, see what kind of results you get if you see any weird phenomena in the sky to determine whether it's the sun or whatever. And then in addition to that, I was just wondering whether you have any prisms or if you could get hold of some prisms because you might be able to do some interesting things with the light and the way it switches up.
I think interesting idea. You know what would be really cool is if someone's bored and they want to be a team player. If you guys could help make a list. Just so you guys know what I'm doing right now. I'm walking around this huge shopping area and I can't read anything. I'm all by myself. And I Ubered and got dropped off. And I'm frantically trying to Google things nearby. And so I can't keep up with everything per se. So we're kind of make a list. But prisms actually are a pretty interesting idea based on potentially all the crazy phenomena going on with light.
Bro, you should have got a Google Pixel Bud. Isn't that the Babelfish ear thing that translates all the languages?
I have an app that does that, but you have to hold your camera up. Good.
Yeah, but
It's
they
only
made an earbud that does
not that hard, man.
Somebody made an earbud that doesn't.
Too late.
If you have a specific thing you want looking into, just post a picture of it. Someone will help you out. Spanish is easy.
Can you post your best way a boomer can send you money? Because I've tried 2 different ways and have not been successful.
His Cash App worked. You only got Cash App? That's the easiest shit.
What's Cash App?
Cash App doesn't work. Cash App's not working. It's rejecting everyone.
Send
you didn't get my
dice
money yesterday? You said you got it yesterday.
Yeah, I got yours, and I have 17 that have been rejected. So there's a 5% success rate or something. It's Zell. Zell is the
Rocky is
best.
saying
And
he's gonna put some crisp hundreds in the envelope and mail it to you. What's the address?
Yeah, I'll do that. But I've tried.
overnight it.
I've tried Zelle and I can't do it. My bank is a business line, like business bank, and it it would work if I had a personal account, but I have a business line there where my Zelle account is. But I can't figure out on Zelle how to just do it.
Yo, mine works on my business account.
Nah, I
Wait, so
kept
that,
one on
Bank of
Bzell on
America.
business.
Are we
I
doing
just
boomer
left.
tech support?
Rocky,
I
you
just
can't
left
figure
my
out how
bank.
Zell works. Wow, I'm shocked.
We need
Yeah, no
boomer tech
problem.
support for Zell. I got you,
Well,
Rakia. You go to
real
your
fast.
personal
I
bank.
don't know what else would be more boomer friendly than Zelle. I mean, you
Super
got
easy.
PayPal. PayPal's pretty boomer friendly.
We're talking deep South boomer level though, so it's a whole
Oh,
nother thing.
that's my kind of people, bro. Watch it.
Yo, I'm a
No,
Rakia shot. No. Yo, listen, Zelle don't work for all banks, bro. I got a credit union, and
yeah,
Zelle don't
don't worry
accept
about
it, bro, because it's a credit
Yeah.
union. It might have some
Well,
credit unions, but
Rakia,
It works
Okay,
for
yeah.
some credit unions.
Zelle
Rakia,
works
just
for
go
the
ahead.
vast majority of things. I'm just like if someone asks me what's the best way, it's Zelle because it's free and it's instant. Okay, PayPal is not bad. It's like number 2 right now. As soon as I made a stream and said, "Hey, it's not going to cost you $1," turns out to mean it's going to cost me thousands of dollars. So if anyone wants to help brother out, I told him, "Look, Kofi's not ideal. Here's $ with to get the cash app."
PayPal.
Immediately, all of
Post
a
your
sudden,
PayPal.
out of nowhere, just okay. Immediately, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Cash App starts denying people for the first time in freaking 5 years. So I don't know if
That's
that's a
unreal.
coincidence.
hey, Rakia, do you have Apple phone to do Apple Pay?
Do you reckon?
Rakia,
Cash App?
Apple phone, yeah.
you have an Apple phone? I'll DM you
Yeah.
my personal number. You can Apple Pay me, and I'll Apple Pay it onto Witsit unless you want to DM Witsit.
I'll tell you guys the PayPal if someone can type it for me though, because I'm trying to beat these doors closing. But it's PayPal.me/InnerWorld.
Witsit, you should say the email for the
Or
Zelle too, just in case.
in a
Zelle,
world
the
where you
Zelle
have
email is witsit@protonmail.com. WITSIT@protonmail.com.
Witsit, is this in a world where you have to pay for a free trip?
Yeah, this is in a world where the free trip is thousands of dollars.
Well, Rakia, if in doubt, just throw him unclipped silver coins and just don't aim for his head and it'll be fine.
Yeah, please do not clip the coins.
Witsit, I get paid tomorrow. I'll shoot you a little something over before 9 a.m. just in case.
Hey,
Thank
Witsit,
you,
I
man.
tested the link, the paypal.com/PayPal me in a
No,
world
no,
link.
no, 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 no. PayPal.me.
Yeah.
Yeah, PayPal.me/InnerWorld.
Yeah, it's at in a world. It expanded to that link. But I posted it and it takes it straight to Austin Witsit at in a world. So it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Thank you, man.
Yep.
This was suck. This is like these are like these major like mall type stores. It's like Belk type stores. Everything's all mixed up. I can't read anything. I go ask someone for a backpack and then they just look at me like what is this gringo doing?
Come on, Lion, get on there. Yo, do you
Well,
have
I've
that?
been going around with Liz. I've been going around with Liz and she speaks fluent Spanish. But she's not here.
Nice.
Good.
Just go caveman on them. Just start drawing pictures and go, me want this.
I think the Spanish word is mochila, but I don't know if they have a different word for it down there because it can be kind of a regional thing sometimes. But Witsit, where would you want the list of what people have suggested and if people could repeat it? So far, I've got sextant, magnifying glass, or cup, water, object of known weight to test density, a prism. But I don't know if anything else was suggested.
Yeah, like a mechanical compass, a gyro compass. But yeah, if you can just keep up with it, and then you can send it to me or drop it in the chat a little bit or something.
How about a global compass? That's the most important compass of them all. See if you can find that, bro.
Bulto.
Bolsa de Libros. Bag of books.
I don't know how easy like a sextant and all that stuff would be to come by, but really, if you just get a protractor and a plumb bob, you could pretty much line it up. And the other thing I was going to say is you're really only going to be able to spot the sun because it's going to be daylight most of the time. I thought I heard people mentioning stars. And then the other thing is I'm in my mid 40s and I figured out Zell, so hopefully everybody else can figure it out.
Yeah, but by the way, there's supposedly Sirius might be actually visible during the day. And there's a marine storm going to in the morning. So it's actually decently likely I might be able to find a sextant, right? Because this is known as the most dangerous water ever. The water we're beside right now, you have like the Magellan Strait. It's known as like the most dangerous water in the world. And so I wouldn't be surprised, right, that the boat store has
That's
like a
probably
whole bunch of
available.
gadgets. Yeah.
Hey, the other thing is, what the guy was saying about the time zones earlier, I was thinking about it last night whenever you was live stream, whenever you and Jaren was live streaming, and the time seemed off for me too. So just, if anything, just keep us up to date with whatever time you're at and whatever time zone you're in, and then we'll be able to, like look back on it all later. But it seems like if you look at the longitudinal lines, they don't necessarily line up. And I looked at a few different time zones, like world maps, and they didn't even seem to all match up the same. So like as far as where like South Glacier whatever is there and where Punta Arenas is didn't seem to line up. So if anything, just like keep track of what time it is and what time zone you're in, and then we'll be able to look at it later.
Haven't time zones always been arbitrary though?
Well, that's like what they say, but how convenient that the random dispersed arbitrary decisions happen to compensate for the discrepancy that would exist if the earth was flat.
Yeah, the sun's got to go through those time zones. So
wait, so not only are they clipping coins, they're clipping time as well.
Yeah, so check it, right? If you have a sphere and it rotates once a day, and one rotation gives you a single day every 24 hours, then you could have 24 1-hour time zones, top to bottom. It would be the simplest, most effective way to have everyone in the world on the same page. You would just have 24 1-hour time zones all around the globe. We don't have that though. Guess what we have? We have like roughly 18 up north, right at 24 around the equator, and then 34 down south. What a coincidence. If you were to take a flat Earth, try to make it a globe, then that would basically turn into the north would be a little bit smaller, the equator would be around the same, and the south would be bigger. So you'd have to disperse more time zones. So,
We have a time zone in Australia, which is called the Euclid time zone or the Central West or something like that. It's about 100 kilometres by 50 kilometres. It's very small. And it's there purely for the convenience of the people that live there. They're right on the border of two other time zones in the middle of nowhere. And it makes no sense for them to have the sun rise at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. every morning. So they make their own time zone that suits them. And it's the same with the rest of Australia. The time zones are all there for day-to-day convenience of the people that live in those areas. And that's the general approach that people take.
Yeah, so merely a subjective take on a timepiece for that place.
Yeah, you want the sun to be overhead at midday, right? So that's nominally the best time zone for you to have a normal kind of daytime. And we have a lot of hassles here because our northern states typically don't do daylight savings and the southern ones do. So Queensland is out of whack by an hour, and it's very inconvenient for the people that are on the Queensland-New South Wales border in Australia because there's an hour difference that's just arbitrary that pops up literally overnight. And so having those local time zones is really good for local convenience. Similarly, if you're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and your day-to-day business is with the people around you and not the people that, like French Polynesia, they don't want to run in a French time zone because it doesn't work. They have a time zone that works well locally for them.
Why does it take the sun only 2 hours to get from Sydney to Perth when it's the same width apparently as the U.S. and the U.S. has 4 time zones across the contiguous U.S.
Sydney to Perth.
Angular ignoring daylight savings time, it takes 2 hours.
Are you talking about the time zone, or how long it takes for the ground
actual
position
time
of the sun?
Yes, ground position of the sun from Sydney to Perth takes 2 hours.
Because even though
short,
the angular speed won't change, the relative ground speed is always going to be faster when you're further away from the center. Very basic.
It'll vary with the time of the year as well. But
They're about the same latitude, north and south, the U.S. and Australia. So why would it take 2 hours for the sun to cross Australia and 4 to cross the contiguous U.S.? Unless it was a flat Earth, then it makes sense that it's only 2 time zones, because 2 time zones in the south are twice as big as the 2, or as 4, or as 2 would be in the north. So the 4 U.S. time zones end up being the same amount of sun time from coast to coast on the contiguous U.S. and Australia, and they're essentially the same latitude, just north and south.
yeah, from Sydney to Perth is 40 degrees. Is that right? 151 to 115, 35 degrees. And so how many degrees wide is the United States coast?
They're roughly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
about
the
the same
time.
size.
I don't know why they're trying to hold up a model that has been taking so many hits. It's full of holes. It can't hold water, let alone air.
It's more like 2.5 hours for coast to coast in Australia.
Sydney to Perth is definitely 2. Looked it up. They're pretty much
the
coastal
time
cities,
zone's
right?
normally 3 hours. Did you adjust this
Well,
all
there's
back
2.5.
to universal time?
There's 2.5 time zones across Australia, but the one is
But
like
the
right in the middle.
solar noon to
Hour.
solar noon is about 2.5 hours different.
It's 2 hours.
No, it's not. If you look it up, solar noon in Perth compared to solar noon in Sydney, it's about 2.5 hours different.
But it's not 4 hours like the United
It doesn't
States.
matter. It's not 4.
Well, have you looked up the solar noon for LA and New York, for instance? Difference?
I don't think you can get a solar noon in New York.
Yeah, solar noon is just the highest point in the sky.
I don't know. I just assumed it was 4 because of the time zones.
Yeah, no, you can't do it from the time zones. You actually have to take the time and convert it to universal time so that you take the time zones out of the equation and actually get the number of hours in real time.
No, I'm saying I counted the time zones from like the time zones being transformed onto a flat Earth AE map. So the U.S. takes 4 slices, and Australia only takes 2 because they're
You have
wider
more
out there.
time zones because you have more people. You got more people to consider.
Hold on real quick, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just posted the catalog for that marine store that is there, and it opens at 9 or whatever, and I see compasses, and I think I see a gyro compass, and there might be a sextant as well in that catalog.
Nice. How much
How
is
about
it?
a global compass, bro?
It's
Well,
not. It
everyone's
doesn't tell you
ignoring
the
that's the most
prices. It
important
just
one. Like
Well,
a
Essie, are you
global
gonna help us
compass.
find? Are you gonna help us find one, bro? Or are you just gonna tell us that we're doing no good?
Yeah, you want to overnight
I
one down
posted
there
to you
for
a few
us,
times,
SE?
bro.
Well, you posted one that's near us in Punta Arenas that I can get before we leave on Saturday.
No,
That's what we're trying to
that I
figure out.
didn't do.
Yeah, we're trying to. Yeah, because like what happened was they told me that I couldn't have but one checked bag, and then we got here. They said, "Oh, you can actually have a whole second bag up to 50 pounds." So we're like, "What the hell?" So now I'm trying to figure out what we didn't get to bring and try and cram it in last minute.
Yeah, they
I
got
got
nautical
you.
sextants. They got nautical sextants and the magnetic compass. I don't know. Maybe it is the global compass that you're talking about. They call one a Germany compass. They call one a magnetic compass. They got nautical sextant, binoculars, all that stuff too. So they got a bunch of
What's
stuff.
a global compass? Like what's different about it?
Yeah, I don't know. SE's been on about that.
I'll give you a quick explanation, but you gotta wait. There's a phone in the background.
No, it's not good.
Queue up is still muted.
I can give you the quick Google. Global compasses are designed for reliable navigation near the Earth's magnetic poles, where standard compasses can become inaccurate. The key difference is a taller dial that prevents the needle from dragging.
Right. There's more to it than that. The needles are not magnetized, so there's no chance of them dipping down. Right. What it is the middle is magnetized. The center, it's like a ring.
Yeah,
So
and it's suspended so that it can pivot.
Yes. So it doesn't touch the bottom of the compass, and it doesn't interfere. I posted one further up.
A lot of marine compasses will be okay too because the compass is floating on a fluid. They'll be happy with the dip in either
Yeah,
direction.
that would be good too. Yeah.
Hey, Dazza.
Yeah.
Where your accent's a bit different. Are you from like Perth or Adelaide or something?
Tassie.
Tassie. Oh, all right. Yeah. There's just slight differences in Australian accents depending where you live. Just slight, ever so slight. Yeah. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. People think I sound like Ruhif, apparently, but Ruhif and I can't.
No, I didn't. It was no offense. It's just like there's just a twang. Some sort of.
No offense, but you do sound like Ruhif.
Yeah, I used to think you were Ruhif's
he does.
soccer account for sure.
That's your twin flame.
That's exactly what Ruif would
We
say
won't
on
hold
his
it
soccer
against you,
account.
though.
Is, oh, people used to say I sound like Ruif. Perfect misdirection.
Why isn't he saying anything?
Sometimes they'll even like be in the room at the same time, and then he'll play a recording on one of his other characters.
Yeah.
No, he got busted.
I just did the calculations for solar noon difference between Brisbane, which is closer, further east than pretty much other major city, to Perth, and the difference is 2 hours and 28 minutes. So yeah, roughly 2 hours and 28 minutes for the sun to cross Australia.
What is it? What would it be from like say LA to Maine or something, or wherever the
Yeah,
eastern.
I'll do that now. I'll do that now.
Hang on, was that in the summer or the winter?
That's
No, it
any time
wouldn't
of year.
change. It wouldn't change.
Yeah, probably need to do it at equinox, right? That'd be the best time.
It does change.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it change by much?
The path that the sun takes is different.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Fair enough.
True solar noon can shift up to 45 minutes, bro. Not
Oh,
longer.
yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
I know in Australia, solar noon shifts a few minutes from season to season, not very much.
So do LA to Vermont or Maine or I don't know, Rhode Island or one of them.
Yeah, so like in Massachusetts, I can
Yeah,
have like solar noon can be 11:50 a.m. Forget about daylight savings time, right? And you fast forward 6 months, bro. You might have solar noon at 12:40, 12:45.
Yeah, but
That sounds like
time
daylight
of the
savings.
light
I did my
travel across
conversions
the
just on UTC
change.
times.
No. Even without daylight saving.
Yeah, but the time that it takes for the light to travel from point A to point B will never change. So from Sydney to Perth, it's never going to change. Light moves at light speed. Nothing will change that. Equinox or no equinox.
I don't think you understand what they're talking about, to be honest.
Yeah, how long it takes from light to travel from Sydney to Perth? 2 hours and 28 minutes or 2.5 hours. It's always
Sorry,
should be
bro.
that.
No, that's not what they're talking about.
Oh.
Every day, solar noon shifts a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So between the solstices, you have extremes, right? You have the shortest day and the longest day, and because of that, solar noon, the midpoint of the day is also going to shift. Like you have like this expanding and contraction that occurs throughout the year with the daylight. Nothing to do with light speed.
Yeah. No, we just like sorry to get stuck on it. Still haven't worked out the other guy's question. He said, I just want to debunk what he said. He said it takes 4 hours for light to travel across America, and I'm like, bullshit. It's got to be like 2.5.
That's
It's
your
4.
of what's going on. We're trying to
can't be
determine
4.
the
It's
difference in
impossible.
solar and noon between
How's it impossible?
the coasts, right? So
someone
it's not
Google it.
about mic check.
Yeah, you good, Napalm. Let him go.
Yeah, so the question is regarding solar noon and how long it takes for the sun to travel across the sky from one spot to another, meaning the sun is directly above each location. And how long does it take for the sun to move from solar noon at location A to location B? And if the two distances are equivalent between the United States and Australia, the time in which it should take for the sun to travel from those 2 points, point A and point B, should be equivalent. But it seems as though they might be drastically different.
I was just going to say the seasonal difference for LA looks like plus or minus 10 minutes for solar noon.
So let's do Boston. Just do Boston. That's easy. Like,
yeah, I'll do Boston and LA.
Yeah. I reckon 2.5 hours. That's my guess.
Yeah, I just looked it up. New York to LA. Well, at least sunrise time is 4 hours exactly.
Hold on, what's going on here? What is this? What are we on now? I was on a phone call, guys. What's up?
It was regarding time zones and the fact that Australia has kind of like 2.5 time zones. The United States appears to have 4, and it also appears as though the time it takes for the sun to get from Sydney to Perth is just around or just over 2 hours, but it takes 4 hours for the sun to travel an equivalent distance across the United States.
No, that's
I don't
no
get
one's
it.
no one's Googled it yet. No.
Solar noon
All
to
right,
solar
well,
noon between New York and LA appears as though it's about 4 hours. Solar noon to solar noon between Sydney and Perth appears as just over 2 hours.
I don't know how that works because they're the same size. It must be the angle or something.
Well, think about the flat Earth. So flat Earth, the latitude lines they get, or the longitude lines, they get wide as you get to the edge, right?
Yeah,
So it
maybe.
kind of makes sense.
Maybe.
Which is the
I think
which
maps don't depict the true size of the continents. Like Japan's a lot bigger than
well
what you think in that. And for example, so I don't think Australia's the same size as America. I just don't think it is.
yeah, no map is technically correct, right? We understand that, but think of it as like the face of a watch. The the minute hand is going to move at the same rate in degrees across the whole entire face, but something that is closer or further away from the center of rotation of that minute hand is going to experience that hand traversing either faster or slower across the sky. And it appears as though the the distance, right, is the same between uh, New York and LA roughly, and Sydney and Perth roughly. But it would make sense that the travel time appears as though it's quicker across Australia if that's on the outermost portion of the face of that watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. That's a good analogy.
Dude, that's what I said like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I wasn't listening.
Yeah,
Maybe I
we have
wasn't
the best.
listening.
We have the best analogies.
Yeah.
All right, but let's. What's the topic?
Time zones and light
Kosho's mom.
speed.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
giraffe milk.
yeah. You Jimmy, yeah.
Napalm, get us on something here or something. Do something,
Yeah,
someone.
napalm, yeah, it did.
Yeah, we don't need the commentary all the time, dude. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, no, we were just kind of discussing that because we're talking about using a sextant down in Antarctica and whether or not Witsit can maybe acquire one. And then they were talking about, how maybe trying to figure out how quickly the sun moves there. How would you maybe determine that?
I have a new topic. Does napalm have a sense of humor? I think no. I'm defending no.
Cool story. So, yeah, that was the topic and why we diverged from that. And I do have a sense of
Yo,
humor.
this is crazy. I'm in like this huge like Spanish Walmart, bro. I'm trying to find freaking universal adapters, like 220, the universal adapter. And it was a freaking nightmare. So I think we got them. And I'm trying to rush back so I can go eat dinner because Candace Owens' producer just got in town. Crazy. Got a backpack
Most of
so
your
we can bring some new
devices,
stuff.
I found her
most of your
Boomer
devices will only
Zelle
need an
account I use, so you should have it. Let me know when you get it.
Oh, thank you, man. I'll check in just a sec.
most of your devices which it will only need a plug adapter, not a voltage adapter. The typical modern devices will work 110, 220, 240, 50 and 60
Yeah.
hertz. They just need a
These are all
physical plug changer. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all
What
physical plug adapters. I got like a
what
little
do you
extension.
what do you know about overflowing voltage at
Done.
at or dirty electricity at like 50 to 60 hertz? Daza.
Sorry, what was the question again?
What do you know about overflowing voltage to a house? It, like on the 50 to 60 hertz, but it's like also known as dirty electricity. It can make you sick and nausea and affect your cognitive ability. And that
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
if your wiring in your house is faulty, it can like permeate dirty electricity.
Yeah, no, I've never
Hold
come
on,
across
man.
that.
I don't know if that's the topic we're gonna do. Just hold on a second. I thought Napalm had something. Did that wrap that last topic up, Napalm, or?
I'm in the middle doing something. I don't know if he was just misunderstanding what they were talking about to begin with. So I don't know if Tanks wanted to wrap that up, or I'm sorry, register wanted to wrap that up or not. But we can move on to whatever.
I've just done the calcs for the solar noons for Australia and for the US. So in the US, going from Boston to LA, it's a 47-degree longitude difference, and it takes the sun 3 hours and 10 minutes. For Australia, it's 38 degrees between Brisbane and Perth, and it takes 2 hours and 28 minutes. So it sounds about right, proportional. I could work that out in degrees, per hour, but it should work out to be 15.
Yeah, there's only about half an hour difference. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Can you work that out in distance and not degrees? Because degrees is, 15 degrees per hour can be the same in each location, right? And that would be expanding if we go back to my face of the watch, right? So 15 degrees at the outer edge and 15 degrees closer to the center would be different distances. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, they're different distances because we're also dealing with different latitudes here. But I think if we were talking about sort of idealized time zones and things like that, they're based on degrees.
Correct, but what we're trying to determine is the distance traveled on the ground, and that's where it's hidden.
Yeah, that's a different.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
if we
that's
just
a
talk about
different
the
problem.
degrees, then sure, yeah, the reason why there's only roughly 2 time zones in Australia is because the degrees are the same, but the distance traveled is going to be different.
Yeah, correct. But I mean, we have, basically Australia spans, I mean, if you talk about idealized 15-degree time zones, we span 2.5 of those, and the US spans, roughly 3 and a bit, 3.5 or something, or close to 4, actually, I think, if you, but anyway, Boston, I think from Boston to LA, it's crossing, roughly three idealized time zones.
Yeah.
Cool. So
And
that,
ideally, you
yeah,
want to do
right.
it at the tropics, right?
If we're doing it in degrees, but let's now figure out and determine what is the ground distance, which is basically what
that's a different problem. So that's like the speed of the sub-solar point. I know some people have done those calculations. That would take me a bit longer, but that's a different problem.
Yeah, but I think that was kind of the point of Register bringing that up, is that if the distances on the ground are roughly the same, and then you have this variation of the degrees being, what they are, the sun would effectively be traveling faster in the south across the same distance. Why is that the case? When effectively they should be the same on a globe where your north and south latitudes are relatively the same with the same distance traveled.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You need to include the declination of the sun in that. So probably the only 2 cases that are fair comparisons would be to go to the tropics. So do it where the Tropic of Cancer crosses through, and do it where the Tropic of Capricorn crosses through, and measure the time there at solstice. So you've got a direct overhead path of the sun. You can measure the distance, and you should get the same distance on both sides for the same number of degrees. Otherwise, you've got this.
There's a guy I know who actually worked that out. He started doing it, I think, from Rockhampton to Longreach, because that's on the Tropic of Capricorn, and worked out the distance and the different times between sol and noon for those 2 locations. I think we couldn't find someone to verify the distance on the ground for an equivalent on the Tropic of Cancer in the US.
Yeah, you're also going to have your largest deviation the further you get away from the equator. So the further the distance is, like the further north and the further south, so the greater the distance between the two, the larger the deviation is going to be. If that makes sense. So like New York and LA, which are definitely above the tropics, and
and Australia, which is definitely below the other tropic, you're going to see that increase in a difference. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I probably don't have the resources to work that out right now, but just in terms of the number of time zones or idealized time zones, like we go from +10 to +8 UTC, and that's pretty consistent with the size of Australia in terms of lines of longitude crossed. Seems it's the same, for the US.
I think people are just missing the point that the guy made initially.
Yeah, I'm trying to reiterate it, but I'm probably going to lose signal here. So carry on.
I don't think there's an ability to or a willingness to understand. The distances are comparable, but the time elapsed is not comparable.